This video will help you become fluent in English by taking part in an everyday English conversation. First, just sit back and relax while you listen to a conversation that I had this morning while I was brushing my teeth. Don't take notes and don't worry if you don't understand every single thing that's been said, because next we're going to go through that conversation in detail, explaining what was said, why certain phrases were used, and how to pronounce everything like a native British speaker. And then finally it's your turn to take part in that conversation, which is really the best way to become fluent fast. Hi, I'm Steve. Let's do this. Have we got any more toothpaste? This one's run out.
I think there's a spare one in the cupboard under the sink. I'll pick up a new one from the supermarket on my way to work.
Have you got time?
I'll manage to nip in somehow or other.
Fair enough. Can you get another couple of things whilst you're going?
Sure. Let me get a pen and I'll make a list. Okay, fire away.
We could do with some loo rolls. We've got some spare, but more would come in handy.
Right, I've jotted that down. What else?
We're nearly out of tea bags.
What sort should I get? I don't drink tea, so I'm clueless.
Well, I've tried the supermarket's own brand, and I didn't really take to them. So any of the main proper brands will do.
Right, I've got that. Anything else? Bear in mind we'll be doing a shop at the weekend.
If you happen to see any biscuits on sale, we could have them as a treat tonight.
I thought you were watching your weight. If you were left to your own devices, all you'd eat would be biscuits and cake.
My diet starts next week, I promise. Now, let's build up your vocabulary by looking at some of the words and phrases that were used in this conversation that you might not have heard before. It started with, have we got any more toothpaste? This one's run out. When you have something and you use it all up, you can use the English phrasal verb to run out. For example, your mobile phone can run out of charge. Notice here in fast English speech, the run and the out are joined together by moving the N from the end of run to the front of out, so it becomes run out. In one breath, run out. You try, run out. The reply was,
I think there's a spare one in the cupboard under the sink. I'll pick up a new one from the supermarket on my way to work.
a spare one is another way of saying an extra one. And to pick up means to go to a shop and buy something. There are a couple of tips you can use in this sentence to sound more like a native English speaker. And the first is not to pronounce the P in the word cupboard. So it's not cupboard, it's cupboard. You try, cupboard. And the next tip is these few words. Let's start with pick and up, and we can link them together by moving the K from the end of pick to the front of up, so it becomes pick up. Pick up. You try. Next, change the A to a schwa sound. That's that little sound that's really common in English. And once you've done that, join the P from the end of up to the front of that schwa, so it becomes up. Up. You try, up. So the first three words become pick up. Pick up. Pick up. You try. Finally, link new and one together by not pronouncing the W at the end of new. So it's not new one, it's new one. New one. Only one W sound in that. New one. So the whole of that is pick up a new one. Can you hear how much faster and natural that sounds than pick up a new one? Pick up a new one. You try. Pick up a new one. Then we heard, have you got time? Once more here, we can use that linking or joining of words together to sound faster and more British. And in this case, we can join got and time together. And the way to do that is simply not pronounce the T at the end of got. So it's not got time, it's got time. In one breath, got time. Have you got time? If you want to learn more about this linking and joining of words together for fast English, check out this video on the channel. It'll really help you out and improve your English. So when I asked, have you got time? The reply was,
I'll manage to nip in somehow or other.
to nip in is to go somewhere quickly and for a short time. You might nip into the baker's for a loaf of bread. If what someone says to you seems reasonable and you don't want to argue, you can use the British expression fair enough, like we heard next. Fair enough. Can you get another couple of things whilst you're going? Notice here the pronunciation of the word whilst. This just means exactly the same as the word while, but this way of saying it is far more common in the UK than it is in the USA. Next we heard,
Sure, let me get a pen and I'll make a list.
when you ask someone to do something and they reply, sure, it means they've heard you, they've understood you, and they're going to do what you asked. Sure. Let's practice. Will you click the like button for me, please? And to make a list is just another way of saying to write a list. Once a pen and paper had been found, we heard,
Okay, fire away.
which is an everyday fun way of saying start.
I'm going to throw this to you.
Okay, fire away. Next was, we could do with some loo roll. We've got some spare, but more would come in handy. It's just a British way of saying toilet paper. And to come in handy means to be useful. The response was,
Right, I've jotted that down. What else?
to jot down is another way of saying to write down.
Can you jot down your name and address, please?
Sure. Then we heard what may be the worst sentence in the whole of the English language. We're nearly out of tea bags. I'm British, I like tea. Then we heard,
What sort should I get? I don't drink tea, so I'm clueless.
and to be clueless is to have no knowledge or understanding of something. When it comes to computers, I'm clueless. I replied, well, I've tried the supermarket's own brand and I didn't really take to them. So any of the main proper brands will do. An own brand is a cheaper copy of something that's sold by supermarkets, and usually they put their own name on it. I then said, if you happen to see any biscuits on sale, we could have them as a treat tonight. The phrase if you happen to just means if by chance you do something. And to have a treat means to have something special and out of the ordinary, like a biscuit. I was then shouted at.
I thought you were watching your weight. If you were left to your own devices, all you'd eat would be biscuits and cake.
To watch your weight means to try not to get any heavier by eating food. And to be left to your own devices means to be left unsupervised, without someone telling you what to do. If the teacher is ill, the students might be left to their own devices. I then lied. My diet starts next week, I promise. Now comes the most important bit of this video, because you get the chance to take part in this conversation. Your words will appear on the screen as you need them. For the best results, speak out loud. Have we got any more toothpaste? This one's run out. Have you got time? Fair enough. Can you get another couple of things whilst you're going? We could do with some loo roll. We've got some spare, but more would come in handy. We're nearly out of tea bags. Well, I've tried the supermarket's own brand and I didn't really take to them. So any of the main proper brands will do. If you happen to see any biscuits on sale, we could have them as a treat tonight. My diet starts next week, I promise. If you're new to this channel, click on the bus to subscribe. That way you won't miss out on all the new videos that are coming out every week. And then click on this link for another video that's guaranteed to improve your English. I'll see you next time.